Parts of the statewide reopening order unconstitutional. Dotson said school districts have the ultimate authority to decide what learning options they offer teachers and students.
A street near the iconic Staples Center will be renamed Kobe Bryant Boulevard. The president of the Los Angeles City Council, Herb J. Wesson Jr., made the announcement on Monday. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
ON Radio.
U.S. Congressman Joe Kennedy's U.S. Senate campaign says that he's been receiving death threats almost on a daily basis. The threats have all been reported to U.S. Capitol Police, and security is being enhanced at all Kennedy events. Kennedy supporters are not blaming Senator Ed Markey, his opponent, directly, but claims that the toxic atmosphere promoted by his campaign has encouraged these kinds of threats. Kennedy is challenging the incumbent Markey in September 1st Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate. One person is dead after a fire tore through a house in Tiverton on Monday. Crews responded to the residence on Church Pond Drive at about 5:30 p.m. The unnamed victim reportedly died at St. Anne's Hospital in Fall River. That person was apparently the only one inside the house. The cause of the blaze is under investigation.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Wednesday's weather, sunny with a high of 73. Thursday, sunshine and 77. Friday, sunshine and 84. Saturday, showers are likely all day, 80% chance with a high of 76. Sunday, sunshine and 77. Next Monday, sunshine and 76.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Tropical Storm Laura is on track to become a hurricane today. The storm entered the Gulf of Mexico Monday night and is forecast to make landfall as early as Wednesday. Could be a Category 2 or 3 storm by the time it reaches the U.S. coast. Hurricane watches have already been put out from Galveston, Texas to near Morgan City, Louisiana.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Alrighty, it's Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. Streaming on our website as well, woonsocketradio.com. We'll say good morning to Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Joe.
Joining us via Skype, John Martin from AARP. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Hi, Ed.
Hello.
And via the phone, Linda Tebow's here. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Joe.
We just squeak you in here at the last second.
Yes, I know.
Because we had no phone service for about a half an hour.
Yeah, I'm on the cell phone, so we don't have a dial tone either.
Haha. Wow. It's not just us. It's a few different towns, at least two.
it's the telephone gremlins.
Yeah, that's right. They're working overtime this morning. So
yes, they are. Yes,
all right,
they are. So I'm on it until I'm not. Okay.
Gotcha. That's kind of how it works. Okay. All right. Time for our first message from the Carew Investment Group. So back over to Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Telephone number is 765-8880. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal management of investment accounts, and depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan just for you. We focus on using quality, dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded mutual funds, and we use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or myself at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review by calling 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. You can also email me at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit our website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com, and there's plenty of information about us, about Bolton Global Capital, and even about Pershing, which is the custodian of funds. So securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services are offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thank you. Nicely done as always, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have you got it memorized yet?
I don't want to memorize it.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to skip any words.
The important words.
Every
right?
word is important.
Ah, I see. All right. So to begin with today, sad day yesterday. Do you know who passed away yesterday?
No.
Who?
Does everybody remember Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day?
Yeah.
Anthony
Anthony
passed away yesterday.
Oh, man.
That little boy.
Anthony!
That's right.
Come running down
running through the North End
Yeah.
to get home for Prince Spaghetti.
Yeah.
He passed away yesterday. He was 63.
Wow.
Yeah.
63.
He's 63. Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
never left Boston. Yeah, according to his brother, he passed away in West Roxbury. Didn't say how.
I was going to say, ooh.
But yeah, and they went on to say so. You know, Anthony was running through the streets of the North End. That was filmed in the North End. Prince Spaghetti started in Boston. All the people that you see in the commercial, if you remember the commercials, none of them are well. Two of them were actors. I guess he was, and the person that played his mother was not his real mother. It was another actress. But they were all from that neighborhood. There was no. They didn't bring anybody in. Screen Actors Guild was not part of the whole thing. They just said we're going to just use the people that are already here, and we'll use the streets that are already here. Okay, Anthony, we need you to run from here to here. Okay, and he'd run, and then he'd run over there and run over there. Okay, and now come in the door, that kind of thing. So they said that's what made it really real.
Yeah.
So and that was his real name, by the way.
Really?
The announcer says Anthony Martinetti. Usually, walks home from school or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was his real name. What was that, Linda?
I said, no, that was a great commercial. I love that.
Well, that commercial was produced in 1969.
That ran for quite a while.
It did run for quite a while, yes. But it's 2020, and if you still say Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day, people know exactly most people know exactly what you're talking about. And so that's right. Or you say, what's today? It's Wednesday. And, well, some people know the insurance guy and the camel, but others will say it's Prince Spaghetti Day. John, do you know what we're talking about?
I do.
Oh,
This predates my New England arrival in 1980, but I certainly know the story.
You do? Okay. See how long it lasted around. So in 1969 though. So I was 3. So I don't remember it then, but they must have been using the commercial through the early to mid 1970s.
Wow.
So that's where I remember it from. They just kept reusing it all the time, over and over. And how many times you must have heard just the yelling of Anthony in Boston or anywhere? I know that because when my friends and I all played together, you could hear each other's moms calling to come home for dinner.
Yeah.
And we would just say, Anthony, whoever, even though their name was Kevin, it's time for dinner. Then you had to run home. He passed away over the weekend, and they announced it yesterday afternoon. So, and the woman that played his mother, that actress, she just passed away in 2016.
I wonder if it's lost on a generation of having your mom stand on the porch and yell in a voice that could be heard across the neighborhood that it was time to come in for dinner.
I'm sure it's still done at some point, but growing up, the moms noticed, and notice it was just the moms that did this. The dads never yelled for you, but they noticed that the mom's voice didn't carry quite as well, and so because the kids always said, "Well, we couldn't hear you," so. What they started to do, what in my neighborhood, what they started to do, they started putting up bells, like
the dinner bell.
Well, yeah, like a ship's bell.
Yeah.
And so every house had a different. You had to learn it, a different sounding bell to who was calling you home.
Uh-huh.
That's wild.
And we all learned that. Whose bell is that? So
you don't have that problem anymore. All you got to do is go near the kid's bedroom and yell out, "Turn off the video game and come in."
No, now they just text you, "Come home." So there's no more ringing of the bells. No more of that. All right, so we had some more rioting last night. In fact, it's probably still going on in Wisconsin. Have you heard about what happened in Wisconsin, Linda and John?
Yeah.
Okay. So they took to the streets in Wisconsin. They were burning cars, and but it traveled down to Providence, where they were.
Providence had a protest. They call it. Yeah.
They were in. I'm probably going to say this wrong. The Poly Square. I'm saying it wrong, but they were near downtown. They were near Federal Hill. They were at the safety complex, and then some people were. They were blocking the roads. They were sitting in front of some restaurants in Providence.
That was at De Pasquale Square.
Thank you. That's how you say that. Where they were eating outside, and some people were like, "What is going on?" And they didn't know what had happened. So. I don't know if I don't think they interrupted anyone having dinner, but I guess they were just kind of loud, and like that. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. So, now from what I saw, I'm going by still photos and narrative, I guess, from the police department. The man that was shot and was not killed, by the way, but he was shot 4 times, was outside his car. And the police had their guns out. And they say he had a knife in his hand. It's tough to tell. There is something there, but it's tough to tell what it actually is. And they said they say they kept telling him to drop the knife. And he didn't drop whatever was in his hand. And then they say he said he was going back to his car to get a weapon. Okay. He walks back to the car. They tell him not to, and when he opened up the car door, that's when they shot him. Mm-hmm. Now, his 3 kids were also in the car. I'm not sure how old they were, but I understand they were young. So this is what touched off this whole thing. They shot him, and they shot him 4 times. So that's what touched off the rioting in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm not sure if I got the name of that town right, but. That's what took place last night. I don't know when this is going to end. When's it going to end, Ed?
No idea.
No, that's right. It's a tough one, and but every time something happens like this, and I was reading what some of the protesters were saying in Providence, and they're just saying, it's all talk, nothing's going to change. About the police, they said, and then they went on. They ranted on about how lousy the police are, and then this person said something, which I thought was interesting, because there's the whole we got to defund the police. This protester said we have to abolish the police.
Yeah, and with all the shootings they've had in Providence, though, and how many in the last 4 or 5 days are shooting and killing every night, and they want to defund the police.
Well, now they came out and actually said what they really want, Linda.
What are we going to send in the social workers?
We're sending in the social workers.
Oh,
that'll be great.
Providence, they've had deaths from shooting.
They've
How many nights in a row?
They've had five homicides in the last 2 weeks.
5.
Yes.
And wow.
You're in Providence?
Yes.
Wow.
And so
yes, in Providence, and that's why the kids that are out there saying 70% defund the police,
Mm-hmm. So that was one of the big themes, by the way, last night at the Republican National Convention.
Yeah.
They're all for funding the police more. So there's a real divide there.
They maybe should.
Maybe you should. I know when they voted in Seattle to. To defund the police, they're going to cut some of their funding up there. The police chief resigned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just said, "I'm not going to deal with this, or the fallout or the aftermath of what's going to happen here." So she went away. So, and then in Portland, they said, "Okay, the protest. What it was a Sunday night?" And they said, "Nope, that was a riot, full-fledged." That's from the police. So, it's I don't. Like Ed said, when's it going to end? I don't know. How's it going to end? I don't know.
I don't know.
And what I've noticed is, from the article I read about what happened in Providence last night, everyone they talked to is between the ages of 21 and 26.
Yeah.
There's no one that doesn't. I'm sure they're there, but you just don't hear about them. There's no one older, and they really don't talk to anyone younger because they're minors. But it's really that very young 20-year-old crowd that is involved in this.
You know, Joe, I've noticed that too. That the last demonstration that I noted in Providence was they were the young kids, and they had their defund the police 70% signs around the neck, and they were cleaning up the street. And they just did. Some of them looked like they were 18 or 19 years old, and hadn't they lived long enough to interesting.
Will they have all the answers, Linda?
I know they do. Yes, I get that. They do know all the answers, But then how do they explain all those shooting deaths, homicides in the last 2 weeks, Well, we haven't heard from them, I don't think, lately, though.
I'm not sure. It's funny, so I'm cruising through the channels last night, and I stopped on the Republican National Convention. And my daughter, who's 14, comes in and sees what we're watching, and she says, "What's this?" And I said, "It's the Republican National Convention." She just rolls her eyes and throws her head back and leaves the room. And I said, "What? You don't want to learn?" And she just walked away. No, she's part of this 20-year-old crowd. All right, this is what I know. This is what I think I know, and I don't want to learn anything else. So I'm just gonna believe this. And whatever the Democrats say, so okay. And then I just turn to my wife and just say, I'm so glad she doesn't vote.
Yeah, no, exactly. But Joe, I can remember as a young teenager, like 16, 18 years old, and the Kennedy, and the speak of the Kennedys and the Peace Corps, and I remember, wow, I'd like to go to that. Be part of the Peace Corps too, because I want to save lives in the world and all of this. But I guess fortunately for me, I was too poor. I needed to get a job where I could make money. I couldn't go off and be a free volunteer. But when you're that age, everything you're idealistic.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
And you're sure you know all the answers. I think
We'll change everything and
exactly
all for the good.
Right. They're very impressionable and
sure.
And I mean idealistic, because I remember being so sad that I couldn't have that liberty or the luxury of going to volunteer in a foreign land with the Peace Corps. Because if I wanted to go to college, I had to get a job
and go pay for it.
Save money to go to school. So
sure.
But I guess I understand it from their point of view a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
When I look back at my younger days, and I'm sure I was just like her, because if you go back to my high school days, this would be 1980 to 84. I thought Ronald Reagan was the worst guy in the world, and he was just only because he wasn't going to let me go to college because he was cutting off student aid at the time, and so this guy's lousy. He's got to go. So I never really looked. What about, no one ever asked. Well, what about his foreign policy? Well, I didn't. That didn't affect me. So that's just the way that kind of the young people look at it. All right, yes, John.
I was just going to say that I was trying to think about me at 26.
Yeah.
One of the biggest changes, obviously, is media. Some of these things happened during the late 60s, and they were a minute and a half on the national news. There was no social media to repeat, to organize, gather, to misinform. We're living in a much different era, and the pandemic has raised people's anxieties and fears and anger. We're in a very difficult situation, but it's very different from anything that we experienced. And I think that part of the solution, on a day-to-day basis, not the bigger problems, but just to remember, this is not the experience we had in our 20s.
That's right. It is completely different.
Apply our logic to it or our experience to it is tricky.
Mm-hmm. All right, more Coffee is coming up, but we need a second message from the Carew Investment Group. So back to you, Ed.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You might be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about what our services are and how we invest your money, and for professional management of your investments, you can call me, Ed Carew, or call Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. And the Coffee and program will continue. The phone lines are working because Linda's still here, right, Linda?
I'm still here.
All right.
On my cell phone, though.
All right. Well, the phones are working here at the station. So if you want to call in a comment or question, 766-1240, or email it in to coffee@wonsocketradio.com.
Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery. You can order delivery through DoorDash, but for takeout at Gators Pub, call 401-769-2220. 769-2220. Call Gators Pub with your credit card ready. Then when you get to Gators Pub's parking lot, call them back and let them know you're there. Gators Pub curbside takeout hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Gators Pub full menu is offered for takeout and delivery. Gators Pub on Victory Highway, Slatersville reminds you to be on the lookout for weekly promotions and deals. Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery.
Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
Hello there, it is Coffee In on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew. John Martin and Linda Thibault is here as well. And we got a message that has been written in to coffee@wonsocketradio.com just saying about the 21 to 26-year-olds, they don't know how to handle adversity. They're just very immature, so they turn to violence. I guess that's a way of looking at it. It's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's one way. Yeah.
They weren't violent in Providence. They were just marching along and blocking traffic and things like that. Not terribly violent, but they were violent out there in Wisconsin. All right. Let's see. What else is going on? Anything else? Nothing else going on, right?
No, nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay. They did have. We brought it up yesterday about the. How some people just don't. They don't think very well. Only because, all last week they kept mentioning the state troopers, the Rhode Island state troopers, are coming to Block Island. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people there. There's too many accidents. There's been a couple of deaths. And the people that are not adhering to rules of the road, we need help. So they said, okay, state troopers are coming. And did people listen? No. No. It's amazing. Let's see. State troopers, New Sharon Police investigated 3 motor vehicle crashes involving mopeds and some DUIs, and they had a rollover on a car.
Now, didn't they cut back on the number of mopeds that could be?
That was one of the rules.
Rented in one day.
Out. Yes.
From 30-something to 25 or something like that.
I don't know the exact numbers.
Okay.
But they did. That was one of the rules that they came up with the town council. Right. If you can rent 30, you can only rent 25, or something along those lines. And you had to bring them back earlier than normal.
Yeah.
If you can,
I thought I read that.
Yeah. If you can keep them until 5, okay, you got to bring them back at 3. But they still had rollover crashes.
Yeah.
That was a car though. But they did have some moped crashes as well. And you would think, hey, there's a lot more law enforcement here. And it's not like it was a surprise. You knew they were coming. In fact, the ferry kind of made a big deal out of it because they filmed them on the ferry coming over, and they had signs where you landed on Block Island, welcome to the state troopers that are coming. Nice to have you here, kind of thing. And they won't catch me, kind of thing. Like I was saying, you know, Block Island's great, but it is an island, and you can only go straight for so long before you got to take a right or a left.
You think?
Or you're in the ocean. That's just what's going to happen. So, if you're going too fast and here comes a right or a left, I got to take really quick, you might just roll over your car. So, you just something to be aware of there. All right, and they're going to stay there. By the way, here's another public service announcement: the state troopers are staying there through Labor Day.
The Labor Day, yeah.
At least. So they did say summer, but maybe they mean Labor Day. So they're going to be there a while. So you might want to change your activities or tone down your activities.
Or recognize, there's just a lot of pent-up energy.
Yeah.
People now when they go out, they've been confined for so long, and they look for some sort of like craziness, to break the cycle. They don't want a quiet, experience. They want to go out and, really let loose of a lot of stuff that's pent up.
True.
I think there's a polarity there, to our previous topic. There's just so much anger and despair and fear.
But does that doesn't allow you to break the law, though, John?
No, it doesn't. That's not an excuse.
I wasn't meant as an excuse. It's just explaining why people who otherwise might behave, less dangerously or less offensively, or just they can't contain it. It's just everybody feels it. Not everybody goes out and breaks the law.
True, but that could go back to what the writer said. They're 21 to 26, and they're just immature. Possibly. Go ahead, Linda.
They've been brought up with instant gratification. It all goes back. They all got a trophy for showing up.
Yeah.
I think, and I've got my grandkids, 22 and 19, and they're kids, but I think everybody thinks their grandkids are special, but they follow the rules. And like Lily had her day to go back to college, and like the very next day, they said, "No, you're not coming." She's at UMass Amherst.
Okay.
So is she disappointed? Sure she is. But it is what it is, and you suck it up and do what you need to do. I think Block Island, was never meant to have that many people on board there, and I think that's a lot of the problems that, it's a vacation place, and they went from, I don't know, what were the stats, 1,000 on that island, and then all of a sudden they can have 10,000 people there on any given day during the summertime. That adds to it, too. And plus, a lot of the kids, like as John said, they're on, like, spring break, They're gonna have fun. They're gonna have fun right away. So.
It's funny. Last May, the businesses on Block Island were screaming, "Hey,
come on down!
Nobody's here. Yeah, we're running out of money. No one's coming over, and we have a real problem over here." So people listened to them, and they went. And now we have another problem. Now there's too many of you here. And my wife even asked me, aren't they limiting the amount of people on the ferry? And I said, well, yes, they are. So people can keep their social distancing, and they're supposed to wear masks on the ferry. I said, however, if you know someone with a boat, a private boat, you can get over. As many people can come over as they want, and there's an airport on Block Island. I said you can go over here to North Central Airport and hire someone to fly you over. And they'll do it if you have the right amount of cash.
That's right.
It's a 10-minute,
and boats
15-minute
go there.
flight.
I know my cousin and her husband are there, and they have their own boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. They dock on, a mooring, and then they're on the island. Yep.
And it's not just Rhode Island people and Massachusetts people and Connecticut.
Oh.
It's also New York.
Oh, yeah.
There's a ferry from Long Island that comes over to Block Island a couple of times a day too. So we got New Yorkers coming over.
Yeah.
Of course, they weren't the ones that were arrested though. It was mostly one person from Florida and a few from Massachusetts. So, but they do come over from Long Island as well. All right. There was another story I read about yesterday. I don't know if you heard about it. You heard about this guy from Johnston?
Nope.
He says, he says people came onto his property because he was flying an American flag and a Trump flag, 7 to 10 of them, mostly older teenagers and in the younger 20s, trying to climb his flagpole because they said they were going to rip down the Trump flag. And when he went over to confront them, saying, hey, you're on private property and get off, they started throwing things at him and hitting him. And so when he was able to finally get up, he said he reached for his firearm and fired a shot in the air. Well, that's scary. Okay. John, was that you?
That was not me.
Okay, Linda? That was Linda.
There she was gone.
There she was gone. All right. Well, Linda will call back.
She went to check her flagpole.
Yeah, that's right. So he fired in the air, and that kind of scattered them. And then the police showed up, and they arrested the homeowner.
Uh-huh.
You know why?
Well, firing in the air.
Firing in a compact area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the problem.
Supposed to do that at the range.
Yeah, and he's according to
not
police,
fire in the air, fire at the target.
Right.
Sorry.
He said
Had he called police, Joe?
I'm not sure who called the police. I thought it was him or someone. Linda's back.
I'm back on the landline. My cell phone just said stop talking.
All right.
I get that.
And so the group of people say, "Oh, hey, we're innocent," and he just shot at us. And he's like,
"Right, yeah."
But after he was arrested,
he got arrested.
Yeah, he was arrested. After he was booked, he then had to go to the hospital.
Right.
And he's got a fractured hand, and he's got stitches in his knee.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else he had. I'm not sure if he had anything on his head.
He had some head injuries too.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. They might have checked him for a concussion, but the police said
they did.
There were no visible signs that he was assaulted. I go, but he must have been bleeding from his knee if he needed stitches.
Right.
And so he's got the court date.
I know.
In November, he's hoping that the charges will be dropped when he gets a hold of his lawyer and goes forward. But that's going to cost him money. And but I'm thinking, that it just reminds me of what happened over the weekend with that little boy in Delaware. He was with his parents, and he was wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, and some teenage girls took it from him.
Oh, really?
And threw it over a fence.
Uh-huh.
And was swinging at the parents and like that. And it's like, it's just this lack of respect for other people's property.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Has gone way out of control. It just seems to me, and you hear it every year, especially around election time. So and so signs get stolen, and then someone else's signs get stolen. But it's the lack of personal space, or not respecting people's personal space.
Well, in this case, these are relatively younger people, right? You said teenagers and
that's what
things
he
like
was
that.
saying. Yes,
but this, like the 21 to 26-year-old kind of thing, and others of similar age, all goes back to what I've always said, is that the problem comes from the elimination of the draft. To me, that's where it all comes from. You did not learn to follow directions, you did not learn responsibility, and you did not learn to respect direction from authorities. To me, that all goes to the elimination of the draft.
And also parenting.
Well, yeah, that
in the old days, if you did something like that, you'd get a kick in the butt or something. But, I think that, and I have this discussion with my son, who's no longer a teenager or anything, but he was a regular guy, a regular boy growing up. But he says, Mom, you taught us that we have to respect the police, you have to respect the teachers, you have to respect, and if you went into, I remember, if anything ever happened in school, I mean, my mother, it was our fault.
Yeah.
You know, there was never, the teacher was wrong. You know, you were brought up to respect. We had old-fashioned values and morals, and I think that, I agree with the draft, but Ed, but I think a lot of it started much earlier than that.
Go
in
ahead.
The home.
Go ahead,
in
John.
the home with the parents.
I was just thinking of Chicago in 1968 and Watts in Detroit. Ed, there was a draft then.
The draft ended right around then.
No, it ended in 72.
I think it was in 70 or 71 or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there were no problems before then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I think that has really added a lot of fuel to the fire, so to speak, for all of the things that have been going on since then, as far as like rioting. And it doesn't have to be rioting. It's just the lack of respect for other people's property, other people's opinions, even. You know, you can think whatever you want. Just don't tell me what I have to think.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee AM program. Time for the forecast, which is being brought to you by CVS. Today, a mostly sunny day until the afternoon, where there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms. So there'll be some clouds then. And a high temperature today, it'll be warm and humid today. High will be near 89. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 57. Wednesday, sunny and a lot cooler. High down to near 73. Wednesday night, mostly clear, low of 52. Thursday, partly sunny, high 77. Friday, partly sunny, high near 84. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies, and mostly sunny skies, and 79 degrees.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard, aired by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Don Burnell inviting you to join us on the Midday Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Super Quiz, great oldies, and interesting guests.
Don Burnell is back Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m.
It is Coffee In here on ON Radio, and I forgot to read this. CVS pharmacists have a tool designed to look for ways that may help you lower your prescription costs. Visit CVS today. Savings vary. See store for details. This segment of the Coffee In program is sponsored by AARP. So time for a first message from John Martin. Take it away, John.
Thanks, Joe. As we battle a pandemic and economic downturn, the health and financial security of voters over 50 are on the line. That's why AARP and AARP Rhode Island is fighting for your voice to be heard, from preventing cuts to Social Security, to protecting Medicare, to lowering prescription drug prices. Rhode Islanders deserve to cast their vote on issues that matter, and AARP is doing everything within our means to help. We want to make sure that everyone knows that your voting options are out there, the information is available, that all Americans, from working parents to family caregivers to seniors in nursing homes, can vote safely, whether they choose to vote from home or in person. To learn more about how AARP is fighting to protect voters 50 plus and how to make your voice heard, both in September and in November in Rhode Island, you can visit aarp.org/RI, and you'll find a voter guide there, all the information on voter deadlines and how to vote safely, either in person or at home. And also, I want to mention there's a story on our website now congratulating the city of Central Falls, 2020 AARP Community Challenge grant recipient. they're getting $30,000 to build structures that will provide shade and rest areas at the Veterans War Memorial in Central Falls. So we're very happy for the city of Central Falls, this year's AARP Community Challenge grant winner.
All right, that's great. When were they notified of that, John, that they were getting that grant?
This was a week ago today.
It was, okay. Well, good for them. All right, moving on to other things. Ed and I were talking about this off the air because it's a daily thing for us in Massachusetts between Ed Markey and Joe Kennedy. But we have a story, Ed. Joe Kennedy says he is getting daily death threats.
Who?
Yes, Joe Kennedy is getting them.
Oh.
Now, all the threats have been reported to U.S. Capitol Police, and security is being enhanced at all Kennedy events. Now, the Kennedy supporters are not blaming Senator Ed Markey directly, but claims the toxic atmosphere promoted by his campaign has encouraged the threats. Do you see Markey's campaigning as toxic?
Wow.
No, I don't see that at all.
I don't see it either.
I don't see it either. No.
I know he has Markey only at the debates. Really, he's attacking Kennedy and his family and his money.
The money, yeah.
It's not really toxic. But,
yeah, but Kennedy is making that such an obvious target. The latest ads that I've seen for Kennedy is he does a little bit of speaking, like right at the beginning.
Okay.
And then after that, he's running clips of Bobby Kennedy.
Bobby,
grandfather.
And then he's running clips of Ted Kennedy.
Okay.
And he's running clips of John Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, it's like, you know, if you don't want us to pick on your family, don't keep putting them in front of our face all the time.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that Bobby and John Kennedy were both assassinated.
Right.
You know, so that brings things back to people's head, and so you know, into people's minds. You get a lot of screwballs out there.
Well, true.
Yeah.
You know, just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes well, he wasn't. He was just in my town, by the way, Joe Kennedy.
Was he?
Maybe a week or so ago. Nothing happened. He visited 3 places: restaurant, convenience store, someplace else. Just to say hi. And nothing happened then. But makes you wonder if Markey's getting any death threats too.
Yeah.
Or will start getting them now.
Maybe.
Quite possibly. Okay. The Republican National Convention did start last night. Like I said, I did see some of it. One of the better speakers last night, and he was a little tough to understand. You had to really pay attention. Was this man from Florida who is a Spanish/Cuban, and he talked about how he has seen socialism not work twice in his lifetime. He said his family fled Spain. He didn't give years, and when they fled Spain, they went to Cuba.
Yeah.
And then he mostly talked about Cuba, and he still has family in Cuba, and he just talked about the failed promises of Fidel Castro, empty promises, and they got out of Florida. I'm sorry, they got out of Cuba and they made it to Florida, and he says he brought up his father, and he said he still remembers his father telling him that we have to. America's got to stay the way it is, because if this country falls, as that's how he put it, if this country falls to socialism, where else are we going to go? That was his thinking. So he basically, said to his son, who's now in his 60s or 70s, keep working at it to keep the United States the way it is. It can't go the way of Cuba and now Venezuela, because because it never works. And so that was the point he was trying to make, that he has seen it firsthand, and we can't go down this road. And that's why he was voting for Trump and like that. I said, that's a really good speech. And like I said, you can go check it out. Like I said, a little tough to understand because he has a pretty thick accent, but I got the gist of it. So it worked out pretty well. So we're having issues at Twin River Casino. They're going to be laying off some workers.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this, Linda?
I did. Yeah, I did.
They
yeah.
can both the Lincoln Casino and the Tiverton Casino.
Mhm.
They're talking about 1,000 workers in Lincoln and another 300 down in Tiverton could lose their jobs by September 30th. Well, Ed, I think they said, here it is. They lost $24 million in the second quarter. Mostly because they had to close.
Well, yeah, mostly. I'm not surprised.
They were closed for
yeah.
at least 2 months, if not longer.
Right. Right.
And then when they were able to reopen again, they can't have as many people inside the casino that they used to have because we got to keep social distancing. Some of the games have not opened up again.
Mhm.
Some people like to go there and just play poker.
Yeah.
Poker hasn't started again. So those people, that money's just not coming in. Yeah, the slots are there. I think craps is open, which is funny because you stand real close to each other in that game. Blackjack is open, but some of the other table games are not. And then, of course, we can't have as many people just inside the building. So trying to make up this $24 million loss with less people is going to be a real challenge. It's a real catch-22. We need more people to come in to play and bet, yet we can't have more people coming in.
But how is that different from all the restaurants that are losing money and all the small businesses, you know? I mean, I know that's a source of revenue for the state and all, but everybody's in that, you know, a lot of businesses are in that same dilemma. You know, maybe not as many staff people as they have, but,
maybe
you know?
Well, some of your restaurants are not losing $24 million, though.
No, I you know, yes, I get that. I do get that. And yes, it is a source of revenue, but, you know, I'm not a big casino fan, so my heart's not breaking for them.
Well, I don't know if they were still paying their employees
Well, exactly.
when they were closed.
Yeah.
And that could be where the losses come from.
Right.
And they just haven't been able to make it back. And now they're going to have to lay them off, which is too bad. Unless something happens quick. But I don't think anything's going to happen quick.
No, it isn't. I don't believe it is.
So, Linda, have you done your, since you're the registered nurse here,
Yes.
have you done your research on the convalescent, I think that's how you say that, convalescent plasma?
Convalescent.
Convalescent.
Yeah, convalescent plasma.
Got it wrong.
Yeah.
What do you know about this? Anything?
Well, I mean, what I do know, you know, not specifically about this one trial that they're doing, but, you know, they've been using that kind of a therapy for other contagious diseases we've had in the past.
And does it work?
Well, it does work.
Okay.
You know, it does work, and what I've been reading is that, you know, it is, they've been using it, I think at a hospital in Westerly they've been using it. So, you know, it makes sense that it would help. It makes sense that it would help because those people that's why they're calling it convalescent plasma.
Yeah.
The people had it, survived it, and now here are their antibodies.
Yeah.
So
I brought it up. I brought it up yesterday on Coffee Am because I saw 60 Minutes do a story on this back in the spring, and they were in New York City, talking about the exact same thing and how it was working, and how some COVID-19 patients that were basically on the brink of passing away, and they said, "Well, let's just try this because it's not going to hurt."
Why not?
Hurt.
Right, exactly. But you know, it's
and
not
they survived.
it's not. This has been done in the past.
Okay.
This has been done in the past with other, contagious diseases. They've done something like this in the past, and you know, the thing is, what do they say? If 35 people out of 1,000 are given it and it works, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's pretty good.
Do you know what might be any drawbacks to it, Linda?
The thing is that I have not heard that, you know, maybe the people would get a mild case of the disease, you know.
But they already have it.
Bingo. Yeah, they already have it because they're using it for, I was thinking of using it for people that didn't have it. But, I haven't heard or read anything about that.
Okay.
Anything that's really related to it, bad effects of it. But
isn't that how basically all vaccines work, right? You get a little bit of what the disease is, so your body can fight it off.
Right, exactly. You don't get the live strain of the disease.
Yeah.
But this, you're giving them the antibodies.
Okay.
That have already been formed by the people that have it.
Yeah.
Have had it.
So it seems like it should work.
I'm not
a medical person, so.
It sounds like it. I'm not Dr. Fauci, but but it sounds. It sounds like it could work. They've been using it in Westulate.
Okay.
With some positive effects. I forgot what hospital there it was.
Have you heard? Has Dr. Fauci come out for this or against it? I actually haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard from Dr. Fauci lately, except to say Rhode Island is doing a heck of a job, and we should be able to get the kids back to school.
He had surgery, had a removal of a polyp in his throat.
Oh, that's right. He did have surgery.
Fauci did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Was that cancer on his throat, or was it just benign?
It was benign polyp, I believe.
It was. Okay.
Oh, it was a polyp? Oh, I did not know. I did not know that. No wonder we haven't heard from him lately.
Right. That was last week. Okay.
Wow.
Thanks for reminding me on that, John. All right, John, time for a second message from AARP, please.
Well, voting is important, and we're trying to be a trusted source of information. So you can visit aarp.org/RI. You can see our new voting guide. Any registered voter can vote absentee this year. No excuse or reason needed. The state has dropped the 2 witness signatures you normally need to cast an absentee ballot. And this year you can vote early in person from October 14th through November 2nd. Rhode Islanders previously were not allowed to cast ballots in person before Election Day. You can register online or at your board of canvassers in your community. If you have not registered, if you want to confirm your registration, all of these steps are outlined, and if you're online, links to these resources, including the Secretary of State's online voter portal, where you can get this done. So aarp.org/RI. We have a lot going on the site right now. And Joe, I mentioned Central Falls, and you seem to be interested. They opened this memorial park back in November. Mm-hmm. I think they always knew that it was only a start because it's not in a park. It's in a very open area. So they submitted a proposal to build some covered areas, some shade structures, so that people can go there and enjoy that space.
Okay.
And so we were very pleased. We had over a dozen applicants across the state. We've had a winner every year for the last 4 years. But $30,000 will go to the city of Central Falls from AARP Livable Communities as our 2020 Community Challenge Grant winner. And it's going to make a big difference for folks who want to visit that site. And it's in memory of many great Rhode Islanders, and we're doing our part to make that experience even greater.
All right. Thanks, John. And the Coffee and program will continue here on ON, AM, and FM.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, what's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is providing security to families and help protect what's important to them. My specialty is picking apart policy details so customers understand their coverages and options. It can be very overwhelming, and I am here to help with that.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
When you want to know what's coming up in your town, there's news, as it's reported, and there are public notices. Public notices, also called legal ads, are placed by cities and towns and newspapers to alert you of important meetings that'll be coming up soon. At the Valley Breeze newspapers, you'll find public notices right up front, generally on page 4. They aren't tiny, hard-to-read ads in the back of the paper. In the Breeze, ads are easy to find and read. We want you to know. In addition, all public notices are placed online at valleybreeze.com, where they remain posted until the public meeting is passed. It's just the right thing to do. If you live in Cumberland, Lincoln, North Smithfield, or another local town, you'll find public notices in the Breeze every week and online at valleybreeze.com. Go to the homepage and click Public Notices. You'll find them all. Breeze public notices that will keep you informed, ahead of the crowd, in the paper and online. Thanks for noticing.
Hey, this is Jeff Ryan.
And I'm Dave Koz. Join me this weekend as I welcome saxophonist Jeff Ryan. He's a new horn on the scene, and I'm looking forward to sharing his new music with you and getting to know him a bit better. Head over to my website, davekoz.com, for all the details, and be here this weekend for Jeff Ryan and yours truly on the Dave Koz Radio Show.
Hi, fans of smooth jazz. The Dave Koz Radio Show can only be heard on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM every Sunday, twice on Sundays, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and again 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., unless we're preempted by Boston Celtics or the Boston Bruins. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group. It's the Dave Koz Radio Show right here on
ON, AM, and FM.
And it's Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here, along with Ed Carew and John Martin and Linda Tebow. And let's get Linda's first reaction on this. Linda, were you happy? I don't know if happy is the right word. Were you okay with the sentencing that Lori Loughlin got in the whole college scandal thing?
Yeah, it was okay.
Okay.
The thing is, what she in the scheme of what's going on in the world, what she did, I think, was very wrong. She and her husband.
Yeah.
But in all of the crime that's being committed, it certainly was a white collar crime.
Mm-hmm.
And they're letting people go free from jail because of COVID. I think it was okay. And it wasn't on my top list of things to be concerned about.
Okay. Well, prosecutors asked for 2 months, and she got 2 months.
Right, exactly.
Same thing with her husband. Prosecutors asked for 5, and he got 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some pretty hefty fines and some community service they got to do. I think Dave asked me. He goes, where are they going to serve this? I said, I don't know. The crime took place in California. They were prosecuted and tried in Boston, so I don't know where they're going to.
To a very nice place, I'm sure.
Yeah,
like
where the
place, those white collar crimes people go.
And what I found amazing was so it's a 2-month sentence, right?
Right.
She has. I'm not sure about him, but she has up until November 19th to report to go to prison. Mm. If it was you or me, I'm going to say me. If it was me that had to serve this 2 months, I would go like right after Labor Day. Mm. So I would have all of September and all of October and be out by the beginning of November.
For the holidays.
Why? Yes. Why would you wait until November 19th and spend Christmas inside prison?
Yeah, exactly. Go now. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take care of it right now? Yeah. Unless she thinks she's going to not go at all, and the lawyers are working on her.
Well, they might pull that COVID thing,
Oh, and she doesn't have to go.
What do they call it? Compassionate
they might
out or something or other.
Just make it a home confinement thing?
Yeah. Wear the little bracelet around your ankle or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. We're really worried that Lori Loughlin may miss Christmas.
I'm concerned about her Christmas.
This is a font of
with
compassion.
With her darling children that she's paid to get into college that probably can't go anyway.
They're not. They dropped out of that school, by the way.
Well, sure they did. Yeah.
I don't think they ever went to that school.
No.
USC, by the way.
So I repeat, not on the top of my list of concern for Lori and her husband.
I'm with you.
Well, okay, all right. But I was happy with the. I was actually happy with the judge, who really nailed her. It was great.
Yeah.
Saying,
I mean, they
you
should
live
be
such
punished.
a charmed life.
Yeah.
And but you still wanted more. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Who likes the marshmallows from Lucky Charms cereal?
Yuck.
Yuck.
No.
You do like it, John?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, some people do. Well, mostly it's kids, but some people do. I'm not a marshmallow fan anyway. But if you do, the cereal company is going to just sell the marshmallows.
Oh.
Okay.
For a limited time, you can get your hands on a 6-ounce pouch of marshmallows for around $4. I have no idea if that's a good price or not. 6 ounces of marshmallows for $4.
Yeah.
I don't buy marshmallows, so I don't know.
Yeah. I buy the pepperoni for Ed instead.
That's like $4 a pound.
Make sure it's real pepperoni, not turkey pepperoni.
I know. I'm going to get some for you, I promise.
John, you weren't here last week. The price of pepperoni has gone through the roof because of COVID-19 and the processing, okay? And while the price of beef has come down, the price of pork is not, and therefore pepperoni is still sky high, which is why your pizza costs more money. In case you were wondering.
Finally, we've gotten to a substantive issue.
That's right. So why pizzas are costing more money? The question comes in: what about the professors at the schools? Are they going to be prosecuted?
Professors, no.
I don't think so. This goes back to the Lori Loughlin case.
The Lori thing, yeah.
Because I don't think they were involved at all. It would be the admissions people.
Well, and that guy that got that
it was that
going
guy
from
Singer,
URI.
wasn't it?
What was his name?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Singer.
guy's name was Singer or something.
That guy.
He's the one who went to him and said, I can get your
he's
kids
the-
into the school.
Yeah.
He's not a professor.
He's cooperated with authorities.
Yes, he
but,
has.
he's not necessarily going to walk.
Yeah.
So none of the professors, none of the teachers at those colleges, and none of the kids were charged with anything either.
Well, they probably didn't even know about it.
They might not have.
Yeah.
Or just didn't.
You know, I can't see Lori Loughlin or her husband going up there and say, "Hell, don't worry there, my missy.
Little whatever, yeah.
I gotta take care of everything. We're gonna bribe them to get you in." You know, I don't see that happening.
I don't think so. They might have said, "Don't worry, you'll get in."
That may be,
And
but
those-
you know,
they- but we won't
don't
tell
worry,
you.
you'll get in. Your grades are good. You know,
that kind of thing.
They should have done it the old-fashioned way. They should have funded a new wing to the library. Or
There you go.
whatever.
Well, that's the way you're supposed to do
And
it.
that
how you do it.
even still wrong.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it.
John-
Exactly.
John, when this whole thing broke way back when, you know, my son works as an admission counselor for a college, and I said, "This must be the talk amongst all you admissions counselors." And he said, "It is, because we're not seeing a dime. We don't know how to be part of this kind of thing."
Yeah.
Although they were told, "Hey, is this happening?" And they're like, "No." And they said the higher ups at the college